At least I won't die alone. Well, that's just typical. Let's hope this doesn't get messy.
This is where it begins, Captain. This is where the frontier pushes back.
What the hell is this?
I know why you're here. Why we are all here.
Okay, let's never do that again.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So first official trailer for Star Trek Beyond, starting to look a lot more like classic Trek. We're in the frontier, there's a sexy alien that Kirk might end up having sex with, and they're getting into all kinds of trouble. If you sense something familiar about the kinetic pace of the trailer, like just like the way there was so much action, the movie was directed by Justin Lin, who directed all the best Fast and Furious movies. Now the funny thing about that is that they're boosting a space shuttle at the beginning of this trailer, just like they boost cars all over the Fast and Furious movies. And the song, the Sabotage song, was playing when Kirk stole his father's car. So that's why when Scotty's like, wait, is this a song, is this music? And Kirk is like, that's actually a pretty good choice. He's remembering stealing his dad's car. You can see the way the trailer messes with the timeline of the narrative. Like the trailer then jumps back to the Enterprise getting destroyed. It's not a Star Trek movie if they don't blow an Enterprise up. Don't worry, there's plenty of letters left in the alphabet, as Scotty always said. But the whole idea with this movie is that they're on that 5-year mission that they were talking about during Star Trek Into Darkness. So they are on the frontier, so it's much closer to classic Trek, Wild West gunslinger action, which is why, there's so much action in this. So it feels kind of like Star Trek Fast and Furious. A couple of the biggest complaints I've seen about the trailer is just that there is so much action, but I think they're just cherry picking all the biggest moments. They want to go out on a big note. This is probably going to be the last Star Trek movie. They haven't confirmed that yet, at least not that I know of. But they didn't really cut this trailer for classic Trek fans. They cut it for people that don't know anything about Star Trek. So they're like, ooh, lots of crazy space action. Maybe this would be fun. We'll go see it. Later, when we get more trailers, we'll probably see more of that classic Trek action. Simon Pegg actually wrote the screenplay for this, and he is one of the biggest Star Trek geeks on the planet. And he's a great writer too, so I have a lot of faith in him. Now, we don't really know anything about the aliens in the movie, only that the villain, Idris Elba, looks a little bit like a Jem'Hadar, but I don't think he's Jem'Hadar. In the timeline right now, the Founders would still be in the Gamma Quadrant building their Jem'Hadar legions, or growing them in vats. I'm guessing in the vein of like a lot of these previous Star Trek J.J. Abrams films, it's something that we've heard about, but we haven't seen a whole lot before. I am curious to see if it's like a race that we've seen before, but they've just changed the look, like they did that with Klingons. J.J. Abrams changed the look of Klingons for his films. We get to see some classic Trek mountain climbing, Kirk style, only this time Scotty gets to do it. Bones and Spock running into some trouble. Looks like it's like the same type of drones that destroyed the Enterprise. Classic Bones one-liner, just him being like, I'm in the shit now. Dirt by Kirk. And this alien that looks like she ends up helping Kirk, you might not recognize her because she has so much makeup on, but she was the really badass ninja with the blades for legs in Kingsman's Secret Service. The new uniforms look pretty good. I don't actually own any Star Trek uniforms. I really like the classic ones just because they're solid colors, but the more modern ones are actually like way more practical. So if you're gonna get a Star Trek uniform, I'd advise you going with one of like the J.J. Abrams era ones because they look like the classic uniforms, but they're just a little more comfortable. Another new alien, don't know who this is or what race they're from. Then we see the crew of the Enterprise being rounded up. Looks like after the Enterprise crashes on this planet. Here's Keenser from the previous Star Trek films. He's gonna be back. Uhura pulling a reverse Felicity from Arrow, if you guys watched Arrow last week. Kirk midair save for the win, and Idris Elba rearing his head. The interesting thing about this film is we really don't know much about the narrative, not nearly as much as we know about Star Wars going into that or any of the Marvel films, so we have a pretty blank slate. It looks like the Federation pushes into territory that's controlled by Idris Elba, and he just isn't having it, and he goes all Luther on their asses. If you guys haven't watched Luther, Idris Elba is a badass in that. Very different tone obviously from Star Trek, but it's a great series. So overall, it does feel like a lot of fun. We're inching closer to classic Trek, like the energy of the science fiction western that like Deep Space Nine and the classic Trek were. That was actually my favorite Star Trek series, was Deep Space Nine. Less Federation, more outer territories, which is kind of looks like where they're going here. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this trailer so far? Like this crazy, Fast and Furious Star Trek. Remember, the biggest part of the Fast and Furious movies, after the plot stopped revolving around car races, it started revolving more around the idea of family. Like, what would you do? How far would you go for your family? So just expect that theme to continue in Star Trek, because that core Star Trek group, those characters are family. Boosting spaceships, meeting hot aliens, having sex with them, all kinds of classic Trek all over this. Now, the movie isn't coming out to the end of July, so we're probably not going to see the even bigger trailer for at least another month or two. Usually when you get about 6 months out is when they drop the first really big trailer, but I think they wanted to capitalize on Star Wars being out, so they're like, hey, space opera, why don't you see the trailer for this other big space movie? There are really like a bunch of people that had that idea. There are going to be a ton of really big trailers playing ahead of Star Wars in theaters. And if you go to Star Wars in 3D, there are going to be some special 3D trailers. I know there's at least a 3D Deadpool trailer that's going to be playing in front of Star Wars. It's not going to be the Red Band trailer because Star Wars is only PG-13, but it's still going to be pretty cool. What's probably going to happen is we have the 12 days of Deadpool that are happening. If you guys didn't see my Deadpool video, I'll put a link in the description. There's going to be like 12 days of new content every single day. We have Star Wars this week. I will be doing a non-spoilery Star Wars review first, and then like the day after that or something like that, I'll do my spoilery review, because a lot of you guys might not be able to see the movie right away. So be sure to subscribe to get everything. I'll totally do some more Star Wars giveaways the next time I post a Star Wars video. While you guys wait for everything to post, you can click here for the Deadpool teaser to learn all about the 12 days of Deadpool, and you can click here for all my Star Wars videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's have 5. I'll see you guys tonight.